Hello, and welcome to the All at Once podcast. All at Once is for anyone curious about spirituality and inner growth, and I am your host, Alexis Christine. I'm a spiritual mentor and energy therapist, guiding the collective as we navigate this awakening journey together. We will explore the depths of the universe, hold space for vulnerable conversations, and delve into so many esoteric and taboo topics, and of course, just so much more. You cannot put a limit on these things. If you guys enjoy, please give us a follow, subscribe, and a good review. Let's get into the episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I know it has been a while and I just randomly dropped the last episode with no warning and no explanation as to where I had disappeared to. So today is going to be an episode all about how I decided to come to Bali and all the things that led up to this moment, because this has truly been probably 3 to 4 years in the making. And it was honestly like the perfect lesson of what's for you won't miss you. You know, everyone always says that, but I feel like it's almost really difficult to try and figure out what that truly means. And this is like a great real life example of that. So, as I have just mentioned, I am here in glorious Bali. Okay, I'm sitting on my balcony. Shout out to this mic because the wind seems to not have an issue with the mic at all. So I'm able to actually be out here with the nice breeze and not inside a air-conditioned room, which is wonderful. And I have been here for about a month and a half-ish now. So I came at the beginning of the fall. I'm going to be here for 3 months. And if you guys remember way back in my Costa Rica episodes, I had talked about how I was actually supposed to move to Bali last January. So January of 2023. And there were some things that happened that ended up with me going to Costa Rica instead. Also, guys, just a side note, there's some kids in the house next to me, like below, that seem to be like playing, but then randomly screaming. So if you hear random kids in the background, that's what that is. Little cutie Indonesian children's. But yeah, so if we rewind all the way back to, I want to say 2021. Okay, guys, like we're 2024 now. So this is a while ago. I had this feeling of I need to be somewhere hot. I need to be somewhere tropical. And I had tried with the corporate company that I was with at the time to get a visa to the US to go work there, to get a visa to Australia to go work there. Like I was literally looking at every single option that I could for transferring. And after these wild goose chases of me hiring immigration lawyers and doing all of these things, the company basically was like, well, we don't actually have a company need for you to go there, so we can't just allow you to transfer out of principle, because if we just did it because you wanted to, then we would have to let every other person who's come to us wanting to transfer just for fun transfer as well, and that would be a huge extra cost to the company. And I was like, really, guys? Like, you couldn't have told me this at the start of this journey? Really? That's what this boils down to? So I was frustrated, but in that whole process of me like really just feeling like I needed to be in this kind of a climate, I was watching random YouTube videos because, again, we're going in and out of lockdowns. There's like not much to do. And so I was really heavily just like watching people on YouTube live the life that I was like trying to get to, you know, all these people vlogging Australia, all these tropical places, whatever else. And I came across a couple who were vlogging in Bali, and I had no idea who they were. They didn't have a big following. It was like really just down this freaking YouTube hole that I found them. And I was watching and like seeing all the places they were going to. And there was one temple that they went to where as soon as they had a pan of like the area around them, like a pano shot, I literally started to cry. My eyes watered and I had tears streaming down my face because it was of this specific entryway of a temple with like these 2 white dragons on either side of the stairs leading up. And I don't know what it was. There was just some resonance, some familiarity, some deep energetic calling. And I literally just started crying. And I was like, okay, this is my sign. Like, I need to go to Bali. This is why every single one of those transfers I tried to do hasn't worked out. I need to get to Bali. And so all of 2022, I was just kind of like trying to find my way back, if that makes sense. So I did ayahuasca at the beginning of February, I think it was. And that's when I realized, like, yep, nope, I can't wait for any more transfers. I can't wait for the corporate job to be ready for me to just work remote. Like, I need to do this myself. And that's when I knew I couldn't stay in London anymore. And then I had my whole situation with the burnout and the company getting acquired and all of those things. You guys have heard all about that in the previous episode, so I'm not going to go deep into it anymore. But then I went and did ayahuasca again in June. And when I came back, that's when I made the decision, like, okay, I'm done with London. I'm moving back home in the fall. So I got my company. I was like, you know what, if you're not going to transfer me to other random companies, at least transfer me back to Canada. So they did that for me. So I was able to be at home and save money for the last few months of the year. And then come January, once all of my options had vested, if you guys are corporate, you'll know what that means. I quit. I gave my notice. And by mid to end of January 2023, I was planning to move to Bali. Okay. And then Bali didn't work out. Bali didn't happen. I had a wedding in Colombia in March. I was invited on a content creators retreat in Costa Rica in February. And I was like, I'm not going to go all the way to Bali and come back for these events after like a couple weeks or a month. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I need to stay on this side of the world. And that's why I ended up going to Costa Rica. And so in Costa Rica, these are all the little things that add up, okay? In Costa Rica, I met two of my now best friends, both of which I met right at the start. The first one I met, I think like the first or second day, but we didn't actually become friends until months later. And then the second one I met, I want to say my second week there, because I was invited to come on a crypto retreat for free, just by chance. I knew someone who was going and there was an extra spot. And she was, well, one of the co-hosts, this other girl who's now my best friend. And so the two of them I met in Costa Rica. And we had these beautiful journeys together all throughout Costa Rica. They are the two that actually moved to Tulum with me when shit hit the fan for me in Costa Rica and I finally had to leave. And essentially had that time in Mexico and then came back home. And I spent the end of 2023 and most of 2024 in this cocooning stage, going through my dark night of the soul, going through my grief, healing, etc. But as it happens, one of the girls there, one of my best friends from Costa Rica and Tulum, ended up moving to Bali in June of 2023. And so she was already here, going back and forth to and from her home country just for some other things. And I just had this inkling, I had this feeling like, okay, she's now in Bali. Like, I have to go. Like, this is my time, you know? Like, the universe is putting people there that it knows I like to be around and that keep me grounded and keep me sane in this 3D world. Like, now's the time for me to go to Bali. And I had this inner feeling of, I know that I'm going to be in Bali this year, but I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what the timing is. I was getting this energetic feeling that it was supposed to be in the fall. But again, I was contracted to a job at the gym. I was contracted to a Reiki center, working out of there. I had all of these other things that were coming up where I was like, I don't know how I would get there or how I would get out of these things. This episode is sponsored by Starseed School, a 10-week course guiding you step by step through your spiritual awakening. If you want to learn more about why you're on Earth, what your soul purpose is, all the different starseed races, how to work with energy and balance your chakras, learn how to channel, connect to your spirit guides, strengthen your intuition, and so much more, sign up for Starseed School now. Link is in the description. The most magical thing in the world happened, you guys, okay? So I'm sitting with this feeling. I'm sitting with it, moving through it. And I also, at the same time, like, I really wanted to be here. But when I thought about leaving, like when I thought about going away from home again, having to pack up a suitcase, being in an entirely new place, my energy felt very anxious, okay? Like, I was not done grounding yet. I was not done being in my safe little cocoon and rebuilding, re-energizing myself. And eventually, I want to say this was maybe beginning to mid-August, I think. I literally had a shift. It was like the second I thought about going to Bali in the fall, it was just a full body yes. My energy was like, you are ready. My guides were like, you are ready. Like, you just have to make the decision to go. And so I sat on this for a few days and I was like, I feel ready, but I still don't know how I would get there. Like, how is this going to work? Okay. And then I was talking to the girls and I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I have decided I'm going to Bali for the fall. I know that's what's in my best interest, and I will figure out the rest of it. I will figure out the finances. I will figure out if I'm leaving these two jobs, how I'm going to make up for it, like all those things, right? And as soon as I made that internal decision of like, yes, I'm going and I will figure it out, the next day, everything started to fall into place. And I, like, when I say everything, I mean everything, okay? So I got a massive refund from something else that was super helpful in terms of the flights. I found the most perfect flight that aligned amazingly with like the timing schedule I wanted, no crazy stopovers. Like it was, I flew Air France through Europe. Like who does that when they're going to South America or to Southeast Asia? Like it just, like, but it was honestly cheaper than some of the other routes that you can take. And I was like, this is amazing. Like I got to go in bougie style. Like it was just so good. And then that next morning when I woke up, I was planning already to go into my place of work because I had like a one-on-one session with my mentor who owned the place that I worked out of. And we were going to have like something completely separate from my job. Like it was my own mentorship session with him. And I was going to, in that time, talk to him being like, hey, my guides are telling me this is where I need to go. My intuition's telling me this is where I need to go. Like, how can we make this work? How can I get out of this contract? Like, what can we do here? And that morning, lo and behold, he messages the entire group basically saying he's ending all the contracts for everyone because they're going in a different direction. And I was just like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Like I can't make this up. I can't. Literally the next day it was like, yeah, don't worry, you don't have a contract anymore, essentially. And when I went in that day and told him, I was like, I was literally coming today to talk to you about this. And then you sent that message. He just started laughing. He was like, wow. I was like, I know. And then I basically just grew a pair of balls. And when I went into the gym, said to my manager, I didn't even ask, you guys. I did not even ask. I just said directly to him, I was like, by the way, I very last minute have decided to go to Bali for the fall. So I'm going to offload all of my clients. But how does this work? Do I need to get special permission for time off? Or do I just like not get any clients while I'm away? And when I come back, I'll get more. And he basically just looked at me and he was like, wow, that's exciting. Yeah, just offload your clients. We won't give you any more. And when you come back, you start from scratch. And I was like, amazing. It was almost like I walked in assuming like it was going to be fine. Like I didn't ask permission. I was just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Because technically as a PT, like you're a contractor anyway. Like you're in charge of getting all your own clients. You make your own hours. Like it's very much like you do it all yourself anyway. So I came in and I was like, this is what I'm doing. Let me know if there's any forms I need to fill out, essentially. And he was just so chill about it. And I feel like it's one of those things where it's like because I was so sure that it was happening and I just knew that no matter what, I was going to be going. Like you go in with that confidence and they don't even question it. So it worked out amazing. And then, yeah, like the date lined up with everything I needed. And it was just like, now that I'm here, I understand why it took me this long. The activations that I'm having, the learnings I'm having, like everything that I'm going through energetically, physically, mentally, all of it is at such a high level that if I had come back in 2021 or even 2022, I would not have been ready. My body wouldn't have been ready. I wouldn't have been at the spiritual level of advancement that I would have needed to understand what is actually happening and what the things I'm going through are. And there's just so many magical people here that I've met that it's like I met them at this part in my journey for a reason. I'm going for an activation in a couple weeks. And had I come a couple years previous, I wouldn't have been ready because this thing that I'm going for an activation for, like this very specific type of energy work, it was brought up to me in Playa del Carmen in February of 2021, and I didn't resonate. It was brought up to me again in 2022. I didn't resonate. It was brought up to me again all throughout my time in Costa Rica and Tulum, and it felt distorted. I didn't resonate. And then it was brought up to me here by one of my friends who I met on TikTok. Like, also, guys, this is why I love social media. Like, this is probably the third or fourth friend who I've met on TikTok that we've met up in real life and just like gotten along amazingly. And she brought it up being like, last time I was here, I had this activation and it was life-changing, blah, blah, blah. And the way she was talking about it, I felt very drawn to it and I couldn't understand why. I was like, this is so interesting. My entire journey, I've been so against this specific thing. I've wanted nothing to do with it. And now she's saying it and it feels very resonant. Like, I wonder why. And then I get introduced to another one of my friends. Well, she's now my friend. At the time she wasn't. And she had just spent months in Egypt going through this like initiation. She didn't plan on it. She just got there and kind of energetically fell into this learning, working with these specific like gods and deities, and just very much like in this portal of learning and activation. And we had an amazing conversation about it. And everything she was saying resonated again. And I was like, oh my God, because it's within the same topic. And I was like, oh my God, like how is she saying this to me and I'm still feeling so resonant? Like, this is two beautiful, like, just goddesses talking to me about this one thing, and I feel such a deep resonance. So in that moment, I messaged the TikTok friend and I was like, hey, who was the person that you used? Okay. Hey guys, quick reminder that if you're enjoying the episode, to please leave us a review and follow the show so that we can help as many people as possible on their awakening journeys. Now let's get back to the episode. And the crazy thing is, you guys, this synchronicity, I can't even make it up. The girl who she gave to me, part of her name is the same name as the succubus in Costa Rica, okay? And this girl opened up her healing center in honor of her brother who took his own life, okay? Do you guys see that connection? Do you guys see how powerful that is? I am now in a place where I get to transmute not only the resonance and the frequency that name holds for me in this timeline, and turn it into something so beautiful and so activating and so high vibrational compared to a succubus energy. But it's also closing that karmic cycle, that karmic chapter with my friend who took his own life, because all of us, the three of us, were connected in Costa Rica, and now all three of those things are connected in this activation that I'm going to be going through here. So when I tell you, you guys, when I say that what is for you will not miss you, it is not an exaggeration. It is not some frou-frou, woo-woo bullshit phrase that people say just to make you feel better. It's actually so potently true. And if you actually trust in that and you start seeing all the beautiful signs and synchronicities and moments of magic in your life that lead you to every single moment that you experience, you will begin to see it also. Because I was so fucking pissed, okay? I'm not even gonna lie. I was fucking livid when my company took me on that wild ass goose chase, and then at the end was like, actually, out of principle, we can't do this. I was like, well, why the fuck did I have to go through all of that then? Why the fuck was I emailing with immigration lawyers, getting you all of these documents, like filling out all these forms, like doing all these things, if you knew at the end of the day that was the reason you were going to say no to me? Do you know what I mean? Like, I was pissed. And I could have gone to Bali in 2023 and missed my cousin's wedding and missed that retreat and not spent any of that time in Costa Rica. But I wouldn't have met these two amazing friends who are like my soul sisters, essentially. I wouldn't have gone through that entire learning and growth with my friend who took his life and with that succubus. I wouldn't have learned about spiritual warfare. I wouldn't have met Erin, Bree, or Kristen, who I became very, very close with and who we ended up going to Mount Shasta with. I wouldn't have met Blue, who I haven't released his episodes yet, but they are coming. I wouldn't, and Blue was actually the one that found me and my friend accommodation in Tulum when we were going. He was the one that said to go there. He was like, this is the timeline that's best for you. And then he was like, the apartment next to me is empty. Do you want me to check with the landlord if you guys can stay there? Like, he's the one that found that. I wouldn't have had that either. I wouldn't have gone to Maui with the girls and had done all the grid work there and had all of those Maui activations and been pulled out of the portal in Costa Rica to actually be able to see from an outside looking in how deep in it I was and be able to pull myself out from there, because when you're in it, you can't see these things, you know? And so like, there's just so many things that if you try and force, right? If you try and force something that doesn't feel resonant, or that you want it really badly, but it doesn't seem to be flowing, you miss out on all of these other beautiful aspects, relationships, experiences, growth moments, synchronicities, all of these other things that the universe has lining up for you, because what you think is your highest timeline or is your best move for you, or it's what you want, might not actually be what's in your best interest at that time. So trust me. What is for you will not miss you, okay? And I know it sounds super corny. I know. But like, I just listen to this entire experience. You cannot make this shit up. It's like a fucking movie at this point, okay? So if you're in a spot in life where you feel like nothing's going your way, you're trying to do all of these different things and nothing's working, and you're thinking, well, maybe I'm just not trying hard enough, or like this and that, just like take a seat, sit back. That's what I want to say. Take a seat, sit back, relax, and kind of just assess What is it that you're trying to force? What is it that's not working? And where is there actually something that might be calling you? Like, where are there other pathways that maybe you're ignoring because you're so zoomed into this one thing that you want that you're actually missing it? Take a look around, see what else is popping up, meditate on it, use your pendulum. Like, just tell the universe you are open to any single opportunity that comes if what you're looking for is not the right thing, or what you're trying to get is not the right thing for you at this time, at this moment. Because so much will open up for you once you stop trying to force and once you just surrender and trust that everything truly is working out in your best favor. Okay, guys, so that is my life update. I'm in Bali, and yeah, it's just been beautiful. It's been absolutely beautiful. I'll do a full like Bali update episode soon, but I want to get through this experience first and really be present in it before I start sharing everything that's going on. So like once I've done that activation that I've been a little bit secretive about in this episode, I will then share on it. But I just want to keep everything that I'm currently going through still energetically with myself, if that makes sense. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you guys have any questions, of course, you can always shoot me a message at iam.alexischristine on Instagram or on TikTok. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here and for listening.